Welcome back into Grand Slam Sports. As always, I'm Jay Hodge alongside Charles Foster and Jackson Strasburger over at the desk. Guys, we begin today's conversation talking about the Super Bowl. It has come, it has gone. The Seahawks absolutely dominated this game behind their defense, winning it 29-13. Kenneth Walker, your Super Bowl MVP. First thoughts on this year's Super Bowl?
What a Super Bowl for one of the teams. A phenomenal game for the Seattle Seahawks. I love the way that they played that game. I mean, the offense was okay, but we talked about how amazing this defense would be. We talked about the front and the fact that they would be targeting on that rookie O-line, and they did such a good job at targeting, and I felt like Drake May just had nothing that he was able to do in that game. I think that the Seahawks team took my expectations and just completely expanded them. I absolutely love the way that they played that game.
Yeah, the Seahawks, I mean, this team is scary good. And I don't know if they're going to be a Super Bowl contender for years to come, but they'll be in the playoffs. They'll be there. Kenneth Walker finally getting his time to shine. He had a good year about 2 years ago. Last year, a down year, and finally getting back into where he could be a top 10 running back, if I believe. This defensive line killed the Patriots' offensive line. I don't know if that was a fact of the Patriots' offensive line was just awful. Will Campbell looked like one of the worst tackles out there and was a top 5 pick. And so it's just, can they fix him out? Can they fix the rest of the line out? The Patriots could be back here in 2 to 3 years maybe.
I mean, Jackson, but to me, it wasn't just the O-line that was the problem for New England. Drake May also just couldn't throw an accurate ball in this game because Drake May was having struggles, and when he did have time, he was throwing balls in the dirt. He was throwing balls over the heads of players. He just didn't have a great day for a quarterback.
Yeah, no, and I think a lot of that was, it was one of those things like, oh my goodness, I'm open. It's like whenever, you're in basketball, you play a game, you've been guarded the whole game, and you finally get that three-point shot, and you just brick it. Like, that's kind of one of those things, like, where it's just like, it felt like he was under constant pressure, and even the throws that he was making when he was open were throws that were under pressure. I mean, it looked like he was running away from someone, even if they only rushed 3. So, I mean, it was just one of those things where I think that a lot of it was in his head. I mean, he was scared. He didn't want to get put on the dirt any more than he already was. And I think that that's where that Seahawks defense really came to play, is not only were they we talked about it, they don't have a lot of good edge rushers, but they have such a good D-line that's so strong, and they push you in. And that's what we saw a lot with the Seahawks D-line, is they kind of pushed him in, and the pocket collapsed so fast for Drake May.
Well, most of the time, you mentioned Drake May not having time to throw. Most of that time was or not making good throws, because he didn't have time to throw. Half the time he'd snap the ball, make one read, and the next second he's got a guy in his face because Will Campbell is laying on his back. It's when your left tackle, which is the most important position on the offensive line, can't do his job, which is block. He even said this, you'll be packing boxes at Amazon. He's right now on the path to be packing boxes at Amazon.
And, he had a poor playoffs, and so did the whole O-line as a whole, honestly. I mean, May was, the most sacked quarterback in the playoffs in NFL history. That's just, that can't happen for a team that wants to win a Super Bowl. So that needs to be cleaned up for New England. But we turn things over to the page of the Seattle Seahawks. And, we hear all about the Legion of Boom defense from years ago. This seems to be maybe a second coming of a Legion of Boom in Seattle.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, and I was saying that I need to see a little bit more. I need to see years of this to actually consider it a Legion of Boom. But I think that, like you said, the path is marked. It's possible. I think that we could totally see that someday in Seattle. I think this is a very interesting team. And now the biggest question is, can they carry this on? They lost Clint Kubiak. They're going to lose some of their – that team isn't going to stay the same. Can they continue to still be as strong as they have been? And I think this defense is the reason why they're here.
Yeah, you mentioned the Legion of Boom, that conversation. What I said was I just don't think they play the same as Legion of Boom. Legion of Boom, you're going to catch the ball, and then you're going to get hit, and you're not going to be able to move for a couple seconds after. This team's not going to let you catch the ball if they let you even throw it. So it's just different styles. This defense is still great, and in the next few years could be, when we talk about best defenses ever, could be in that conversation. They have that, like you said, path marked. They're just not – I can't compare them to Legion of Boom. I think they're different play styles in that factor.
And on the offensive side, obviously, you have Donald had a pretty good game in this game. Had a really good playoffs overall. And, Charles, you being a Jets fan, watching your old quarterback now succeed mightily with the Seattle Seahawks, it's got to be an interesting feeling.
There was a little bit of salt at first, especially in the beginning of the season. Like, most of the Vikings, I think, was where a lot of the salt came. Like he's good, but we knew he was good. Even in New York, we knew he was good. We didn't know he was this good, but it's one of those things like a proud father moment. Like, you're seeing your kid go off and do things without you. And that's, Sam Darnold, he was a Jet. He always will have that in his heart, and we always have him in our heart. To go off and go win a Super Bowl with another team, could not be happier. He deserved it. He's a great guy. And I think, he played well, no turnovers in the entire postseason. That's the kind of quarterback play that you
That was
need.
his downfall the whole season.
Exactly. So, could not be happier.
And, Ford's offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, he's also going out onto his own now in his first head coaching gig. He's heading to the Las Vegas Raiders, the Raiders who have a very interesting offseason coming up ahead of them. First overall pick, new head coach, a lot of cap space, Max Crosby maybe on the move. Where do we even start with this new look Raiders team?
Something is cooking in Las Vegas, and I'm actually positive if I was talking about the Raiders, because especially offensively, let's look at this offensive core that they have. More than likely Fernando Mendoza. Ashton Jeanty, who was one of the best running backs in college football history, had a solid year last year with a pretty bad O-line. Brock Bowers was a top 5 tight end in the league when healthy. This team has pieces. And you know what it kind of reminds me of, a team that had those pieces and then they slowly started to build an O-line and build around it? The Detroit Lions, before they started to build. That's what this offense reminds me of an offense that is good, but they need more pieces. So they have like I said with the last thing, the path is marked. You now know where you need to go. After they get their quarterback, the O-line needs to be beefed up. They got to spend some of that money. I think they need to move on from Crosby and use that money that they move on from getting his contract onto building an O-line, building a defense. It's going to be a few years, but there is a recipe in place for the Raiders to be good.
I don't believe in this Raiders team at all. I like Ashton Jeanty. I like Brock Bowers. I don't like Fernando Mendoza. I don't think he'll be an NFL quarterback. I don't like this offensive line. I don't like this defense, especially without Max Crosby. And this Raiders team isn't getting better. They got a great coaching staff. I'll give them that, but I just don't think this first overall pick, if they go Fernando Mendoza, that's the right option. I think the right option is go offensive line, go defense, go a different route, because the quarterbacks in this class aren't great, and you're not a quarterback away from being good.
Well, Jackson, I look at Mendoza, and I do believe he can be an NFL quarterback. He's going to be the first overall pick for a reason. This guy was one of the most accurate quarterbacks we've seen at the collegiate football level, and he took down the college football world in one season with IU. At IU, of all places, he took down the college football world.
That's not because of him. He had He had one of the best offensive lines in college football that year. He had one of the best defenses, one of the best receiving cores, and one of the best coaches.
Okay. Let's move the conversation back to the Raiders here. And yes, I agree with you to an extent that they need to work on their offensive line the most. Right now, the offensive line is the big concern for me because they just can't block right now. And they have multiple free agents. They have guys who I just don't trust on the offensive line. So if you do draft Mendoza, expect them to go with some big boys in the later rounds.
Yeah, I see there's two paths. You have the path of sunshines and rainbows, go Fernando Mendoza as a safe pick. Or get a haul. Because there are a lot of quarterback needy teams that will pay you a lot. And like you said, they're not a quarterback away. I don't hate the idea of them getting a haul and moving on and getting a better team and waiting another year.
We didn't even discuss Max Crosby yet. Obviously, we'll see how that progresses. Raiders can get a haul for him as well. But we'll keep that updated as far as the Raiders progress over the course of this offseason. A lot of question marks to be answered. But Charles, you get over to the video wall now. Our Foster 5, what do you got?
All right, and this is going to be the last of our NFL Foster Fives, and we're going to start off right now with teams that are going to have the most pressure coming into next year. We're going to start off with the Denver Broncos. This is a team that for some reason refuses to be better than they're supposed to be. The team was the #1 seed last year. Did not look like it in the playoffs, though. Denver Broncos are going to be my number 5. Moving on to number 4, the New England Patriots. They just made it to the Super Bowl, but cupcake schedule, we talked about that. Are they actually going to be good whenever they face some real competition? I don't know, but I do not have a lot of faith in this Patriots team, especially after that Super Bowl. Number 3, we have the Baltimore Ravens. They are one bad season away from Lamar Jackson going bye-bye, and we all know what this team looks like without Lamar Jackson. It is no team at all. So number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. At number 2, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, the most expensive roster in the NFL. The Eagles have not looked like it these past few years, looking like the Yankees right now, spending all that money with no real result. And number 1, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They had the easiest path to the Super Bowl, and, well, they didn't win. They fired their coach because it was the coach's fault, apparently. They got a new one. If they still suck, some conversations need to be had about this Bills team. Fellas, what are we feeling about the Foster 5 today?
Charles, I'm not sure how exactly I feel about some of these top 5. The Broncos, I'm not exactly sure about. The Eagles, I'm not exactly sure about. One team who I would have liked to see maybe in this spot is the Detroit Lions. The Lions, who have had 2 good seasons in a row, I feel like they're getting down to the nitty-gritty right now of their current roster and what they have. I feel like they have to at some point win something because the Lions, they've been there for 2 years now, and the roster is kind of getting towards the back end of being together, and with their head coach, and they just need to win something at some point because the Lions, they just haven't gotten up over the top so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree the Lions should be on here. I also think the Eagles should be below the Ravens. I think the Ravens and the Bills are in the same boat. They have the superstar quarterback with a very good defense, and now both just fired their head coach. Was it worth it? The one team I really hate being on here is the Broncos. They just had a quarterback, a major ankle injury. I don't think they have any expectations coming with he'll be a third year off a major injury. I think they're down not even in the top half of teams that need a high expectation. I think the Eagles move down, Broncos get off, and I like the Lions getting on this list.
I could also maybe think about the Los Angeles Rams. Probably Stafford's last year. They don't know where they're going to go quarterback afterwards. Maybe one last year, one last run at things. Maybe a bit of pressure to win something again with the current roster with Stafford on it.
I think the Lions pick is good, and I think I underestimated how much pressure they would have this year. The Broncos pick is more just Sean Payton overall. This is a team with some injuries, but it's also a team that has performed really well, and they were already kind of a fraudulent first seed. It's hard for me to sit there.
Well, I mean, you look at the last 2 years. I mean, they're just recently good again.
Yeah.
I mean, they were a 7 seed just last year, the 1 seed this year. They've gotten better, so I feel like you give them more time because they still have a lot of time to build around Bo Nix and the roster they have right now.
Yeah,
and most of them are still under contract.
And you compare them like the Bills and the Ravens, who have been, when you talk about top teams out of the AFC, it's been the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. And this year, neither of them make the playoffs.
Well, the reason why I put the Ravens, and the reason why I put the Ravens at 3 is because they didn't even make the playoffs last year. So, their pressure is a little bit less than those teams that made the playoffs and still lost without Mahomes and Lamar and Burrow in the playoffs. So that's kind of where that thought process was. But I understand the concern.
I mean, also, speaking of Burrow, how much pressure is on the Bengals? With Burrow maybe winning out eventually?
That's a fair one.
I like that, too.
I didn't even think about that until just now until you mentioned Burrow's name.
They're not top 5 for me, though. I feel like because the Bengals' expectations.
I can see them above Denver. Denver, to me, is still a really good team.
That's fair. I put the Lions over Denver hindsight.
Well, the NFL, they're into the offseason. Us is in the offseason right now. Major League Baseball, we'll get into the offseason there next when we come back. Taking a look now into the MLB offseason, taking a look at some of our favorite low-key moves, some smaller moves that maybe put the team over the top that we didn't really anticipate being a good move. Charles, who was your guy?
That man right there. I want to say this team put them over the top. I just say this was one of my favorite, low-key moves. This was a move that the Orioles needed. They needed pitching. They lost out on Framber. So bringing in a guy like Chris Bassett, who at one point in the year was having a sub-3 ERA. He had such a good season for the Blue Jays before the ending, and had a solid playoff run with them coming out of the bullpen. I think that Chris Bassett's not going to be one of those needle movers, but he's more like, the needle's not going to go like this, but it's going to go it's going to move just a little bit. They have a little bit more pitching depth, and I really do think that move it's a positive for the Orioles. And I think that when it comes to low-key moves, very cheap, very, not too big, I think this is a move it might open some eyes in Baltimore.
And my move here is Mackenzie Gore, which might not be a low-key player move, but I feel like everybody just kind of forgot of what this move did for the Rangers and even did for the Nationals in this case. You go, for the Rangers side, you get now a depth pitching. You get your identity. It used to be that power when you spent $500 million on 2 players to be in your middle infield, and now you go pitching, you get your 3rd, 4th starter, and it works perfectly. On the other side of thing, the Nationals get 5 prospects. All 5 of them were in their top 30. First one being Gavin Feen, whose shortstop will probably end up moving to 3rd or 2nd. One of the best power hitters in minor league baseball right now. And then after that, another guy I want to talk about is Alejandro Rosario. He came out of college, had a 6 ERA. First year in the minors in 2024, he gets a sub-3. Last year he was hurt, but when he was pitching, he was one of the best strikeout guys. And I think this is just setting up the Nationals' future. And Mackenzie Gore wasn't working. He's got a 4.17 ERA last year. It was time to move on. I think this did right for both sides.
I'm not going to lie to you, bro. This move is about as low-key as a gunshot in the suburbs. I do not think that this move is low-key at all. He is the ace of the Nationals.
Which isn't saying much. He's about to be a 4th starter on there.
Before the All-Star break, he was a Cy Young competitor. I mean, this was Mackenzie Gore as ace material written all over him and was traded for 4 top 20 prospects. This is not low-key. This is one of the biggest moves of the year.
I just don't think people realize what this move did. It not only built the Rangers' rotation even more, but now nobody looked at who those prospects were. I heard nothing about it the day after this move happened.
I heard a lot about it. I like Mackenzie Gore, but I digress. Chase.
All right, we'll get into mine now, and these two guys are pretty known names in Major League Baseball. I mean, I considered it.
Mackenzie Gore.
I considered it. Well, yeah, I'm Mackenzie Gore, but I went with kind of two moves here, both of them being in favor of the Pittsburgh Pirates, being Ryan O'Hearn and Brandon Lau. Because you look at these two guys, and it's two infield players for Pittsburgh, two batters for Pittsburgh that can make some contact here, hit maybe some pop. The Pirates needed something in terms of their hitting lineup, and they went out and got two guys, traded for one, obviously, and signed the other to a 2-year deal. So for the Pirates to finally at least try to add something in terms of hitting to your decent rotation is good to have.
I mean, yeah, I like this move. I think more, it's not as much as the move itself. It's more the fact that they made a move.
Exactly.
The Pirates spent money.
That's the point.
Pop your bottles, the Pirates spent money. And I think that's right there is like the biggest thing for them is it's not, like Brandon Lau, he was solid for the Rays, and I really did like him. And Ryan O'Hearn, he's got some pop. So, I mean, the ball might actually go far, which is nice. Like there's actually
that
some
beautiful
potential.
background of PNC Park. They might finally get some home runs.
Exactly.
Wow.
So the Allegheny River might actually get some love in PNC. So I like the moves. It's better. It's good.
Yeah, they're fine. I just don't like what the Pirates have done this offseason at all. I think these are obviously their best two moves. I don't like where the Pirates team is at in general. I don't like where the direction they're going.
I mean, who has ever liked where the Pirates team is at? Has anyone ever liked where the Pirates are at?
They can't decide. They either need to go all in or not go all in, and this is the opposite. This is what you would do if you have a team and you want to build around a team.
They also got Marcell Ozuna, though. Like, they're spending money.
He's hitting like 230 with 4 home runs.
But the ideal of Marcell Ozuna.
Okay, Marcell Ozuna 2 years ago, great idea. Marcell Ozuna now, he's going to retire next year because he's 37 and hasn't done anything.
They spent some money. At the end of the day, that is a happy day if I was a Buccos fan. You know, the grass is green, okay? That's all that matters. There's grass in the other side for the Buccos.
Is it green, though? Because
It's grass. It's better.
Is it? You get the wrong. You either need to go all in and try to win and get big names, which I don't know what big name's going to want to come to Pittsburgh, but we can figure that one out later. Or you decide to trade Skeens, trade Jared Jones, go the opposite way, rebuild, start with something new, because they don't have any offense. O'Neal Cruz was one of the worst qualified hitters last year and was one of the worst qualified defenders last year after moving positions. This team is not going in a good direction.
Why would you trade Skeens? That's like the best pitcher in the MLB right there.
You know how much you would get for getting Skeens?
Yes, I understand that, but if you're the Pirates, that's just being the Pirates again. That's just trading with your best player
That's
for
just
the 15th
admitting
time.
that you're not going to compete, which is for a Pirates team with only 2 years. I get it. Skeens could go someday, but it's not like he's going to get much worse. Okay, he's still going to get a haul 2
And
3
there's
years
been
later.
plenty of talks about Skeens getting moved. I think this is your time you do it. You'll get the most out of him, and you're not going to win games unless you get or you go and get a crazy free agent. And they did not do that, and they were in every conversation, but their conversations were.
But they're in conversation.
But
that
were
is
they?
a positive.
Were they really?
That
What
is
was
a
the
positive.
They said,
They're
"Hey,
there.
you should come here," and it was, "No, I'm okay." That was the
At
conversation.
least they're attempting. They're attempting now. They're getting better.
The pocketbook is open. In a few years, maybe they might actually sign somebody.
Maybe they'll actually get third in the NL Central.
Woo!
And they're moving up in the world right now. Speaking of being up in divisions, now we have our AL picks. Back into the American League now. We're going to pick our American League teams for the AL East, Central, and the West. Jackson, we'll begin with you with the AL East.
I think I went with the Blue Jays. This is probably the closest one in my opinion. It could be the Blue Jays. It could be the Yankees. I just think the Yankees got way worse. I think the Blue Jays found some pieces, got a little bit better.
I mean, for me, you can call it bias, but I'm going to go with the Yankees here. I mean, the Yankees, yes, they're kind of running it back right now with the same lineup with Cody Bellinger being re-signed, but they also get Garrett Cole back in the rotation, and they're going to have one of the best rotations in the MLB. The bullpen's still a question mark, obviously, but I think the Yankees can get done this year.
Give me the Blue Jays. Enough said. Blue Jays, they only got better. They were the best team in the AL last year. And, yeah, Blue Jays all the way.
But, I mean, I agree with Jackson. I think it'll be a close run in the AL East this year. I mean, Yankees,
especially
Blue Jays.
the Red Sox as well.
The Red Sox are going to be good. The Orioles maybe might try to play some baseball this year. It's a possibility.
The Rays will be a team.
The Orioles do have some hitting power now, so we never know. But we'll get into the AL Central now. Jackson, back over to you.
Yeah, I think I have the Royals here, and I know there's going to be some disagreements. They have what I believe the MVP of this year in Bobby Witt Jr. They fixed their one problem, which was pitching. Getting Matt Strahm out of the bullpen is a great idea. They got some other relievers, and I just think this Royals team is significantly better than any other team in this division.
This guy putting Bobby Witt Jr. MVP number one conversations. Are we serious?
No, Bobby Witt Jr. MVP conversation? Fine by
But the
me.
Royals win the division too. It's also crazy.
The Royals winning the division.
100%.
Over the
100%.
Tigers.
Exactly.
No.
Give me the
Tigers
Tigers.
are
Give me the
trying to-
Tigers.
Exactly.
No.
I don't see any way the Royals win the division. The Tigers are far and away the best team in the division. No debate about it. Why are we throwing sunglasses at each other? This is absurd.
The thing that I will say is the Royals are a good team. But when I was thinking about who would be better than the Tigers, the Royals weren't even second. I was
Exactly.
thinking the Guardians over them
No.
because the Guardians just refuse to suck. So, I mean, no, absolutely not. I mean, hey, if something happens and you're right in about 6 months, then we could
We
talk.
can play it back.
but
I mean,
you could text us whenever we're gone and graduated, but, absolutely not. No.
man, that's crazy. What do you have for the AL West?
I have the Mariners for the AL
Okay.
West. They lost Jorge Polanco, and I think I replaced him with a better Jorge Polanco and Brendan Donovan. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I'm glad you sounded reasonable this time. I mean, you actually sounded reasonable this time with an actual pick. The Seattle Mariners is also who I'm going to go with here. They were very good last year, made a great run to the ALCS. I think they can do the same thing this year. I think they can be one of the World Series favorites this season. They have a really good lineup, really good bullpen. They have a lot going on. I don't like the way Charles is looking to the left of me right now, so what's going on over there?
I don't hate the Mariners pick, but I want you to look at me right here.
I'm not looking at you. You're scaring me.
The Astros are inevitable. They will be back, they will be healthy, and they will be better. They ended up picking up some players. Their team has not gotten worse. Jordan Alvarez missed almost the entire year. Jose Altuve had a horrible year. The Astros are inevitable. The Astros are going to come in, and they're going to show people why they have been one of the best teams despite cheating. So why they've been one of the best teams in Major League Baseball for the past 6 years to come.
Can I get a mark my words moment?
No.
Give me the Astros to finish fourth in this division.
Fourth?
Yes.
Look at him real quick.
Texas
Hold on, look
and
at him
the
real quick.
Athletics over them.
The Athletics?
Fourth in the division. You heard it here first. If you were wrong,
This might be worse
what
than
am I
his
getting if you're
Giants pick.
wrong?
He said the Giants were going to make the playoffs.
What do you want?
Yeah, he said the Giants were going to make the playoffs. By the way.
Hey,
Okay,
I
just
said
saying.
they were going to be better. I never said playoffs. The word playoff never came out of my mouth.
Run the clip back. Run the clip back.
No.
He said they were
No.
going to make
They're
the
going to
playoffs.
make the
No.
playoffs. I remember this.
They were going to make the playoffs. I was
No.
there. I was right here, in fact.
Astros are still
suck.
second. They're just not first.
Astros are fourth. Give me the Mariners all day, every day to win the AL as well. I don't see any better team in the AL right now.
Okay.
But that's a different conversation for another day. We're going to get into basketball when we come back. They are in the midst of All-Star Weekend, so we'll get into those festivities when we return. Looking into the NBA now, also in a bit of a midst of a break. The All-Star Weekend is here. Quickly looking at some of the festivities. Three-point contest coming up first on the Saturday night All-Star festivities. And we see Damian Lillard in there as well with off the torn Achilles, but a few names in there, some good shooters. Con Knipple, the rookie, also in here. What are you guys seeing in this three-point contest?
Con.
Knipple.
He wins.
Yeah?
Enough said. That's the analysis right there. Con wins this. He's the best shooter in it. Unless he goes cold, he wins this.
I don't disagree with Con. I picked Dame. I think Dame is just more Sigma than Con is, and that's why I'm taking Damian Lillard in the three-point competition.
You know, I think Jamal Murray's going to mog all of them. Give me Jamal Murray to win this contest. Give me Jamal Murray. I think he can get hot here and hit a few in a row and knock down both Dame and Con.
I think that we see a time where Con Knipple actually makes 6 or 7 in a row, and I think that's going to be where he really goes on fire. And I think Con, he's going to win this by 6 or 7 threes.
You know what? I could see it. Con Knipple's a really good shooter. Looking at the dunk contest quickly, though, Carter Bryant, Jackson Hayes, Keyshawn Johnson, and Jace Richardson. Nothing really there in terms of big names as usual in the dunk contest. Really, I haven't watched him play at all. Really.
That boy can dunk.
You get it?
That boy can dunk.
Give me
Keyshawn
Jackson
Johnson.
Hayes. Let's have some fun. Let the big man go out there and
What
hit some
about
windmills.
Jace Richardson? I don't know. I can't see
Nepotism
him.
higher, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
sorry,
I'm going to go with Jackson Hayes as well in this one. Give me Jackson Hayes win the three-point contest. That's kind of the All-Star Weekend. All-Star game also on Sunday. 3 different teams in that contest. That's a whole different story for another day, though. Now, it is Valentine's Day.
Nothing is more romantic
than
scrolling
Tinder.
through Tinder. We're going to talk about some NBA on Tinder. I'm going to have these guys swipe left or swipe right based on if this team is a contender or if they are a contender, or if they are a pretender. We're going to start off right behind me here, and with the first team that we have the Boston Celtics.
Give me go left. I'm going to say they're not a contender. I don't see Boston being a contender in the East this year. I think there's a few teams above them. Obviously, it all depends on if Tatum is back for the playoffs or not. Brown has done a good job of leading this team through these hard times so far, but they've had a good team, and they add Vucevic on the deadline as well. But I don't see Boston contending in the East this year.
Yeah, and looking at the next team, we're gonna take a look at the next team behind me. What do you? There are chicken nuggets behind me.
Wow.
Evan has put chicken nuggets behind me. Chicken nuggets, I guess,
Well, yeah,
left or right.
This is 100%. I mean, you can see the check mark right here. I'm swiping right on the Nuggets. The Nuggets, they contended a few years ago with Jokic, with Murray, and I think they have a really good team again this year. They have some shooting behind them, and I think Jokic and Murray are enough to be a contender in the NBA.
All right, and then looking at the next team, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Absolutely. They add James Harden. They are fully in the race for contention now. I think it's them, Detroit, maybe the Knicks, the top three in the East right now. And with Harden being added to this team, I think they're truly a contender.
And do you think that they are the contender, or how confident are you in saying?
I think Detroit is a favorite right now. I think Cleveland's second.
All right. You heard it here first. And looking at the next team, contender, the
Absolutely not.
The quickest swipe left you've
Absolutely
ever
not.
seen in history.
This team is not hot. I don't like this team. I don't like the way they look at all. Yes, they have been much better this year. This is one of those cases of like how the Magic were a few years ago. They were good, but they're not good enough yet. It'll take a few years to fully get, to maintain themselves as a top Eastern team, to get them on my side. Right now, I don't see them being a contender with a team.
Not even like a horrible pickup line, like nothing. Like you're not even considering swiping at all.
I mean, I'm not even gonna have pickup line. I'm not gonna swipe right and get the messages at all. This is gonna be immediate. Like I see, whoa, what is that? Whoa, get that out of the way.
How did you get here? All right, Jackson, looking over at you, your first team.
Timberwolves. I like the Timberwolves. I believe in them. I believe in Ant. I believe in Rudy Gobert. Can play some defense maybe. Jaden McDaniels, a good second option on this team. I say yes to the Timberwolves.
All right, next team, Jackson.
Lakers, I don't believe in this team. They just played without their starting four a couple days ago against the Spurs, and it was impossible to watch. They don't have the depth to compete in the playoffs. I think their starting five is great, but after that, it's a fall. Jake LaRavia is not going to get you past any team in the West.
Okay, fair enough. Next team, what are you feeling with the Rockets?
This one was probably the hardest to decide. I don't really have an answer of why I said no to the Rockets. But I just don't trust them. Watching them, just something is off. I don't believe in them. I don't trust them. I don't love the Rockets.
So you don't have a reason, but you're still swiping. Like you should have at least swiped and
give them a chance at least.
Maybe they
have a good personality, man.
Yeah,
like come on.
I'm sorry.
I scrolled through their information, their bio a little bit, and just didn't entice me.
I don't know. I think they have a good personality. You got to give someone a shot at some point, right?
Yeah, I say you're picky, bro. You're picky. That's why you guys are both single. All right, last but not least.
Well, then I chose the Knicks here. You mentioned them being a top team in the East. They're one of the top three, whatever order you put them in. The Knicks are definitely a contender this year. And I think this is the best chance they have with the Celtics being the Celtics and not winning games. Or without Tatum, I don't think they're going to compete in the playoffs, so I really don't trust. I trust the Knicks this year.
Man, you missed out on a good one. I'm going back to the Houston one. You missed out on a good one, man. I'll take Houston for myself then, man. You can take
pop
New York.
up on my feed. Okay,
exactly. But that's
please.
immediate. Whoop. Come right on to mine.
All right,
Go for it.
We have a pretty big problem in the NBA, and that is tanking. The Utah Jazz were fined $500,000, and well, the Pacers were fined $100,000.
I'm gonna get mad at this. Hold on.
Is tanking a problem, Jace?
Yes and no.
Yes.
It is a problem. Yes, teams are purposely tanking games. But the problem is, these two teams, they got fined for games that they won, for games that they actually ended up winning. How does that make any sense whatsoever? If you win the game, that should just negate a possibility of a fine. Games that you lose, I understand. Because the Jazz, they sat down a few players in that game. I think it was three guys. I think it was Jackson Jr., Markkanen, and was it their big Kessler as well?
Kessler, yeah.
They sat all three of them in a game against Miami when they were up by 20, and they still won. Okay, so what does that have to do with anything tanking? Yes, they've lost a few games that they've done this. Pacers have done the same. But the game the Pacers got fined for was one that they sat some guys on a back-to-back second game. That just is a general NBA thing. Every team does that. They rest their older guys on a second night of back-to-backs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the fact that the Jazz got fined. They have been the most obvious tank job I've seen in probably NBA history.
The Pacers just beat the Knicks. Like they're not even tanking at this point.
They actually refuse to lose. Actually, they don't want that.
We've won four of the last five. It makes no sense to me.
And I have a question for you because I saw this when I was scrolling through TikTok at 3 in the morning last night. And it really irritated me. It irked me. Should the NBA get rid of the NBA draft?
Whoa,
That is
whoa,
a question that people are bringing
What
up.
do you mean
There are
get rid of the draft?
multiple people bringing this up. I think, number one, I think this is the worst take I've ever seen in my entire life.
So it would just be free agents immediately? Just
They-
sign?
yeah, that's what they said.
What?
No, because that would just
No.
mean teams who want to spend money are just going to buy players, and it's not going to be fair. It's not going to be a draft anymore.
It's just going to be college basketball all over again.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
It's just going to make college basketball the minor leagues. It's not even going to be.
But should there be regulation
Yes.
in football, basketball, but every sport? Because tanking should not happen at all, and it's a problem in every sport.
What's crazy to me is that the NBA teams, they still do this knowing that they could get absolutely screwed over by the lottery.
Yeah. I mean, you got to listen, at the end of the day, no one's going to want to go to Utah. Who looks at Utah like, that's where I want to go? I would love to go play
you
for
saw
the Storm
Ace
and
Bailey's
Hornets.
face when he got drafted.
Yeah,
in
Ace
Utah.
Bailey didn't even want to go there. I mean, no one wants to play in Utah. Now, like, that's the thing is, like, you have this hard situation of what they should do is what the MLB does, where they take away picks. The MLB will look you dead in the eyes and be like, no, you don't get a pick anymore.
And also, isn't the NHL, they don't give you back-to-back picks, like first overall picks,
Exactly.
back-to-back
Like, so
years,
like
whatever?
these leagues take away your picks if you mess up or if you do something that's against the rules. The NBA needs to set those rules. And taking away the draft.
I saw the NBA, they're posing maybe a tournament between the bad teams.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
The Puppy Bowl.
But basically, they would play, and the winner of the tournament would get the first overall pick.
They should do that before the wild card for the NFL as well.
But,
Jets, Raiders.
if they
before the
do
wild
that,
card, warm us up.
if they do that, like teams that traded picks, does the team that got the pick traded to them to play it? Like would the Spurs play for their pick? It makes no sense.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
we have some time for that.
before we end, we got a little special announcement. March is right around the clock, and you know what that means. That means college basketball is coming. Grand Slam does not normally get to cover college basketball too often, but we're going to start covering college basketball starting next week, so tune in next week whenever we get to start talking about the NCAA here on Grand Slam Sports. I'm Charles Foster, Jace Hodge, Jackson Strasburger. Have a good night.